Yo, what up, street dogs? Air Kim. So the thought, why I'm so greedy for the grain, the not the grains. I don't eat grains. I only eat meat for the gains. So some of my own terrible thoughts. So the first one is, what are gains? Um, it's actually funny because a lot of people criticize this kind of like weird modernistic talking that we kids do, right? Yeah, and I've actually found myself like, dude, I'm like such a huge fan of Gen Z. Like, Gen Z, they're like way more intelligent, hardworking, and motivated than us, like millennials or Gen Yers. I think we're actually technically Gen Y. I was born in 1988. And so, what does it mean to be greedy for the gains? To me, being greedy for the gains means, it goes from my friend Soren Zane Aldrich. Gains above all, GOA is what he calls it. So to me, a gain is like, simple thing like muscular gain. And it's not technically putting on weight because that's kind of dumb because if you're putting on weight, but it's all fat mass, adipose tissue, that's kind of a bad gain. And like one of the car brands I love is McLaren. They're always trying to strip the superfluous and trying to make their cars lighter, more carbon fiber and stuff like that. And even the new Tesla cars, Elon's been doing a pretty good job leading the way that, like, I think the new Model S could do 400 miles. And the big thing was by reducing the weight, you could actually augment your, whatever's. And so as a consequence, one of my personal life goals is to have indefinite gains, like muscular gains. I mean, who knows? Like maybe hopefully before I die, I'm around like 5'10", 5'11", 5'10 and a half, 5'10 and a half, right? I would love to be 200, 60 pounds. I mean, that's just a bit much, right? Let's say, let's be more reasonable. 220 pounds of pure muscle, 10% body fat. So 200 pounds with a six pack is essentially my goal. But what we're trying to gain is muscular skeletal mass, not just weight for the sake of weight. So that's why I never weigh myself. And actually, every time I weigh myself and put myself on a scale, it's actually extremely discouraging. I always feel like a little bit depressed afterwards because, it's kind of like trading stocks or looking at your bank account. You see the number go up, you feel good. You see it go down, you feel like shit. But the problem is, if you see it go down, it feels 100 times worse than you see it going up. And this is why a lot of people tend to become more risk averse if they spend too much time on social media because, obviously you get a bunch of likes and stuff, it feels good, but you see a lot of people unfollow you, you essentially feel like shit. So essentially social media is one of the culprits for making us, like this whole quantified self movement, I think it's really bad. I'm more for like unquantifying yourself. And for me, it's purely aesthetic. I could see it, right? Like if I'm, every day in the, before I take a shower, I just take off my shirt and I can look at my six pack or my muscles or whatever. I can see if I'm putting on more fat, adipose tissue, if I'm putting on more muscle, and just simple things too. Like when I'm lifting weights, I try to lift heavier weights, and to me, even muscular gains, like strength gains, are real legit gains. And at this point, I don't really care too much for money. I'm more about gaining more intelligence, gaining more wisdom, and maybe a via negative approach. I'm trying to dispel more ignorance from myself, and I'm trying to know more information, more knowledge, more wisdoms, and stuff like that. And so at this point, I'm trying to simplify my life to the extreme possible in order to maximize what's truly meaningful to me, which is my artistic creation, my whatevers. I'm kind of fucking with Bitcoin and cryptocurrency and DGB, Digibyte, which I'm personally invested in. And, I listened to Chris Dixon's lecture on A16Z, Andreessen Horowitz Crypto Startup School. And so for me, I'm all about movement, gains, and stuff like that. And to me, humanity is about expanding, becoming bigger. And at least the good thing about this whole notion of wanting to go to Mars is a good thing, because it's not even going to Mars for the sake of Mars, because I prefer living on Earth and eating meat and working out and doing deadlifts and stuff like that. But still, for me, the human mind and the human spirit is insanely epic, and I'm a huge fan of humanity. So that's why I'm like anti people who want to do this degenerate like neo hippie van life and living off the grid. I'm like, I think it's just people who are just kind of dissatisfied with their lives, and they're trying to find a deeper meaning in their lives by doing other things, X, Y, and Z. But yeah, I prefer living I'm like in a minimalist luxury apartment. Like I live in 300 square feet. Have uber fast Wi-Fi, so even if I shoot this video and it's like 10 gigabytes, I can upload to the YouTubes in like, a minute. It's pretty amazing. And yeah, so for me, it's just, I could buy pork for 99 cents a pound, chicken for 99 cents a pound, beef for $2.99 a pound. Price Right is a local, ghetto poor people grocery store. And so yeah, I'm like, even last night we cooked like a 10-pound hog of pork shoulder loin roast. It's 10 pounds, right? 99 cents a pound. It's only 10 bucks, right? It's like you can't even buy panini for that no more. But anyways, I was only able to eat like maybe half of it or a little bit more than half, and it was the first meal of the day. So then I kind of had this epiphany. I'm like, my new goal is I want to try to eat 10 pounds of that a day, or just in one sitting, and I'm still not there yet. But it's just kind of a fun challenge. Like, people are into the eating challenges. I will become the next Kobayashi, right? But easiest way to eat more meat or eat more, stuff, just work out more, walk more, do more intermittent fasting. I don't eat breakfast or lunch. I typically break my fast earliest 3 p.m. I try to aim for like 5 or 6. And now I'm actually trying to get to bed super early. Like I want to be like Tom Brady, get into bed like 7:30 or 8 o'clock. And now that we live in this, crazy new COVID world, I ain't nowhere to go out anymore. So it's like you can sleep early, wake up early. Yeah, so being greedy for the gains, I think it's a good thing. Use this chance to experiment with your life, your lifestyle, and note that at the end of the day, it's all about creative production, creating ideas, words, thoughts, ideas, stuff that can motivate yourself and others.